It's Filter Free Friday. I'm glad y'all here. You know, race and equity is like calculus. Diversity and inclusion would be like addition and subtraction for many people who live in the United States of America. And so the engineer in me is thinking that we probably need to back up a little bit and help people understand truly what does diversity mean and truly what does inclusion mean on some topics that ain't so charged or not as emotionally charged and intellectually challenging as race. And part of the reason why I say that is because of Lizzo and Eddie Murphy this past Saturday on SNL. You know, Lizzo is a heavy woman. She's fat and she knows it. And Eddie Murphy, at one point in his life, was in a car having consensual sex with a transgender woman, allegedly. And I have watched all week the conversations around not Lizzo's talent as a flute player, not her talent as an entertainer, not her beautiful self-love for herself as a black woman, but her weight. And, you know, some people say, well, she's not all that talented. My issue ain't about her weight. My issue is about all these other things. I'm going to invite you to look at all the other people who were heavy that we say weren't acceptable. Stacey Abrams. Be honest with yourself. What was you saying about her weight? Chris Christie. Be honest with yourself. What were you saying about his weight? And Eddie Murphy, allegedly in a car with a transgender woman having consensual sex, ain't bothering nobody. Ain't nobody being harmed. And yet, how many of you turned your back on Eddie Murphy because of his consensual sex? You know, we don't know how to accept difference. We don't know how to be inclusive. And I'm just telling you as an engineer, based on sheer numbers, if you're going to start leaving people out because they're heavy, you're going to start leaving people out because of who they consensually have sex with. If you're going to start leaving people out because of who they worship, you're going to start leaving people out because of whether or not they eat meat, eat dairy, don't eat meat, eat gluten, don't eat gluten, eat. The number's not on your side. We won't ever be able to deconstruct this massive construction of a race and racism because both of them need to be deconstructed in order for us to ultimately get where we want to be. If we can't get our heads around the fact that, you know what, some people smoke cigars and if that ain't harming you, that's their personal choice. And that some people don't feel like the gender they were assigned at birth, that don't make sense to you, and it don't matter because that's not your situation. You know, we had a family friend, Jackie Bassard, and I can't remember the number exactly, but I know Jackie was stabbed over 100 times because Jackie was lesbian. And this man felt like he had the right to stab her over 100 times, ultimately killing her because she lesbian. Y'all, as we out here trying to get other people to understand their unconscious biases, their conscious biases, their outright bigotry, their racism, their prejudice, their discrimination, as we're trying to get them to understand all that, I need every one of y'all to take the implicit association test so you can uncover your own blind spots. Because listen, the love of Jesus done saved me, honey. I believe it to my core. And guess what? I know that's a belief. I know faith ain't factual. And so we got to stop walking around here acting like it is. Because it's not, y'all. Faith ain't science. It's something to help you get through. And if you turn out on the other side to be right, beautiful. But I know one thing's for sure. God has required of us required of us to be more loving than we currently are, to be more inclusive than we currently are, to be less hateful than we currently are. And I don't even understand how we gonna ever deconstruct this system of race and racism if we can't get our heads around this little simple idea that the more people we can include, the better off we all will be. Now, the engineer in me also understands that if, in order to make progress on some of these persistent issues, we all have to eat the same thing, believe the same thing, weigh with the same amount, love the same kinds of people. If all of that has to be true, I don't know if this is doable. But I need y'all to work with me now. Work with me now. Because we got work to do. I can't do it all by myself. But if the people who's supposed to understand it are exclusionary and want to be homogeneous, I'm thinking I might need to hang my head up now. Happy Kwanzaa. Kuji Chagalia. Define it for yourself. I don't know. At the very least, take the Harvard Implicit Association test on weight before you tell me you're not biased against fat people. It's Filter Free Friday, y'all. We got work to do.